Hello and welcome. I am Excellent and this is my channel. Today we're going to talk about a disappearance. Two, in fact. And if you're here and you're looking for unsolved disappearances, then you probably know of this case. I have always wanted to do a video about this, but for some reason it just I think it's hard to cover, and I believe that's probably because of the infamous photo that was found of this missing woman and a young boy. But we're going to talk about it today, and if you have any opinions, please go ahead and leave them below. Also, if you would give this video a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you'd like to be subscribed, please go ahead and push that subscribe button. All right, let's start talking about this. This is the disappearance, kidnapping of Tara Calico and Michael Henley. On Tuesday, September 20th, 1988, Tara Calico went for a bike ride, and she's never been seen since. Well, possibly never been seen since. On that morning, Tara laid out her clothes, her tennis attire, and school books on her bed. She had a tennis match with her boyfriend at 12:30 p.m. and then class at 3:30 p.m. She asked her mom, Patty Dole, to come pick her up if she wasn't already back by noon because she didn't want to be late to the tennis match. Tara's bike had a flat tire, so she took her mother's bike and she left her house about 9:30 in the morning. This was a route that she rode every single day. Her mother also took a bike ride every single day, and she would follow the same path. Except recently, she had began to feel that she was being stalked by a vehicle when she was on her bike ride. So she stopped going on that path. And she told Tara. And she told Tara that she recommended that she carry something with her. Mace. But Tara wouldn't do it. So 12 p.m. came and went. And when it did, Patty did exactly what she'd been asked to do. To drive along that route and pick Tara up so she wouldn't be late for her 12:30 match. However, she didn't find Tara. She wasn't on the road. And when she didn't find her, she called the police. Lawrence Romero, who had been the sheriff since 1976, immediately suspected that there was foul play. He is quoted as saying, "We feel this is an involuntary disappearance." And he went on to say, "We understand from talking to her parents and friends that this is totally out of character for her to turn up missing." While they were investigating, police found a set of bike tracks that suddenly turned to the side of the road onto a soft shoulder and led to a spot about 100 yards away. They found tire tracks and a fresh oil slick at the same spot. Also, along the route, they found pieces of Tara's Walkman and a tape, broken up and crushed. Her mom feels that Tara was trying to leave a trail to show where she had been taken. The rest of the Walkman had been found 20 miles away, near the entrance of a remote John F. Kennedy campground on September 24th. Tara's family made it very, very clear that her daughter, their daughter, would not have run away. That wasn't the type of person she was. And so they felt in their gut right away that something terrible must have happened. During the investigation, detectives kept looking for leads and interviewed people up and down New Mexico's State Road 47. They finally found 7 witnesses who saw her. 5 of them also saw a suspicious pickup. On October 25th, Sheriff Romero announced that they believed that at least 2 men were involved in Tara's abduction, based on the witnesses who came forward to say that they saw two people in the pickup at 11:45 a.m. She was just 15 minutes away from home. Witnesses described the driver as 35 to 45 years old, a white male with reddish-brown hair. He probably was around 5'9", maybe 6 foot, and weighed 190 to 210 pounds. The car was white or off-white, mid-50s to early 60s Ford pickup with a camper shell, chrome wheels, oversized tires, and a Ford emblem with crushed red glass letters. It had a license plate from New Mexico with the letters WBY or WBZ, and the license plate ended with the number 6. The sketch of the man generated 100 phone tips and 4 interviews, but no one was ever arrested. On June 15th, 1989, 9 months after she'd gone missing, 1,500 miles from where she was last seen, a woman leaving a convenience store in Port St. Joe, Florida, discovered a Polaroid lying on the ground in a parking lot. Suddenly, the case took on an even more eerie and frightening feeling. The woman who found the photo said that it was in a parking space where a white, windowless Toyota cargo van had been parked as she arrived at the store. Other witnesses also saw the van. She said that the van was being driven by a man with a mustache who appeared to be around 30 years old. Police set up roadblocks to intercept the vehicle, but the man has never been identified. According to Polaroid officials, the picture had been taken after May 1989 because the particular film used in the photograph had not been available until that date. The photograph showed something horrifying. It showed a teenage girl and a young boy, both gagged with duct tape, their wrists bound behind their backs, lying in the back of the van. Some of Tara's relatives had been watching a TV show called A Current Affair, and they released the Polaroid on there. They realized that the girl very much resembled Tara, and they called Tara's mom Patty. When Patty first saw the photo, she was certain that this was her daughter. In particular, she had a scar on her leg. She was confident that it was the exact same scar that Tara had. She had gotten this discoloration, the scar, on her leg when she had been in a car accident when she was little. Then, next to her, was a dog-eared paperback, V.C. Anders, which also happened to be one of Tara's favorite authors. Scotland Yard analyzed the photo and concluded that the woman was, in fact, Tara. But a second analysis by the Los Alamos National Laboratory disagreed. An FBI analysis of the photo was inconclusive. However, her mother was convinced that it was Tara and certain. Patty and her husband John Dole became authorized deputies in 1991. They did this in order to be able to perform their own search for their daughter, and they were able to use the sheriff's office. A contract investigator, whose name was Jay Eschenberg, of the district attorney's office, said in an interview with the Albuquerque Journal this: Tara's abduction was a violent crime, a crime of opportunity that led to her being raped and murdered. Detectives had always assumed that she was kidnapped by more than one person due to her physical fitness. Of course, there was no evidence at the time of either one of those things being true. She'd been raped or murdered. The case slowed down until September 2008 when Sheriff Rene Rivera announced to the public that he knew what had happened to Tara 2 decades earlier. And this was his quote. According to him, 4 boys who knew Tara accidentally hit her with their pickup truck while she was biking along the NM 47. What they did was throw her and the bicycle into the back of the truck, and they took her to a gravel pit. When she threatened to make sure that they all went to jail, they killed her, disposed of the bicycle in an undisclosed junkyard. It was sort of an open secret that they murdered Tara, and their parents aided in the cover-up. But without Tara's body, there could be no charges pressed. Tara's stepfather was very angry when he heard of this. He said that he couldn't press charges against anyone. This angered John, who questioned why he would publicly say these things if he wasn't going to arrest anyone with the circumstantial evidence that he said he had. There was never any evidence released that that was true. In the summer of 2009, Police Chief David Barnes of Port St. Joe received two strange pieces of mail. The first one was of a young blonde boy. The second one was of the same young blonde boy, but over his mouth was marker scribbled to look like tape. The first picture came on June 10th. The second, August 10th. Both were mailed from Albuquerque with no accompanying note or return address. No identifying clues as to who this young boy was. And therefore the boy in this picture has never been identified. Two other Polaroids have surfaced over the years that could be Tara Calico. One was a blurry photo of a girl's face with tape covering her mouth. This was found near a residential construction site in Montecito, California. Forensic evidence suggests that it was taken sometime after May 1989. The second was a Polaroid of a woman loosely bound. Her eyes were covered. She was sitting next to a man on an Amtrak train, and it was dated roughly to February of 1990. Tara's mother believes that the first picture is Tara, but she thought that the second one might have been a prank. Her sister stated they had a striking, uncalming resemblance. As for me, I will not rule them out. But keep in mind, our family has to identify many other photographs, and all but those three were ruled out. On October 1st, 2019, the FBI announced that they are offering a reward of up to $20,000 for precise details leading to the identification or location of Tara Lee Calico, and information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for her disappearance. In November of 2002, Tara's biological father, David, was walking home from a bar in Albuquerque when he was mugged by two men. They stole his wallet, 2 rings, and his heart medication, and as a result of that, he died in his sleep. Patty and John moved to Port Charlotte, Florida in September of 2003, and soon after, Patty began suffering from a series of strokes. She passed away in May of 2006. In her obituary, Tara is listed as her survivor. So, who was the boy that was in the picture with Tara? He's seen laying on his side, his head on a pillow, his arms behind his back, black tape across his mouth, looking straight into the camera. His family strongly believes, and the police suspect, that this boy was 9-year-old Michael Henley Jr. He had gone on a camping trip with his father and a family friend on April 21st, 1988, in the Zuni Mountains. Only 20 minutes after they arrived, Michael vanished. Michael's father believed that he had wandered away from camp. However, a search of the area found no trace of him. Then, a snowstorm hit, and it was very difficult to search for him after that. If that photo was in fact Tara, then the young boy in the photo does seem to negate Sheriff Rene Rivera's announcement that he knew 4 boys who hit Tara with their truck and killed her. In June of 1990, Michael's remains were found just a few miles from the campsite from where he vanished. His remains were identified through dental records. The cause of death was believed to be hypothermia. Foul play was ruled out. His disappearance and death are no longer believed to be related to Tara Calico. But the boy in the photo has never been identified. And his parents were certain that that was him. So if not him, who? And how does a young boy go missing and have nobody? Have nobody claim him? Nobody reported him missing? So what happened to Tara Calico? Who is the young boy in the picture? Who is the young boy in the subsequent pictures? And the woman. Is the woman Tara as well? And if so, is she still alive 31 plus years later? We may never know. And what we do know is that her parents will never know. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please give the video a thumbs up. And please share my videos with people who are interested in true crime, unsolved mysteries, and the paranormal. Good night.